What's up, guys? Welcome back to Drinking and Drawing episode 4. Yay! Today I'm drinking Double Lion. It's from Teas We Like. I got this tea in sample form from someone on the internet, so thank you to them. It was a really fun tea to try. This is not the first time that I've had it, though, and very enjoyable, very medicine cabinet-like aroma. The tea's pretty young, smells young, I think. It's definitely has a fresh and strong smell. And I was actually expecting it to be quite bitter, but was pleasantly surprised to see that it is pretty sweet rather than bitter. It's also very silky. It's a bit medicinal, herbal taste, which I am a fan of for sure. The color is very red as I continue brewing it. The brewing that you're seeing here is the first rinse. I always kind of waste it when I'm taking video because I mess up steeping it while I'm trying to set up my camera. But it ends up getting deeper and deeper as I keep steeping. I do enjoy that aged ginseng, incensey, smoky, tobacco-like tea flavor that I do get from this tea. So yeah, totally enjoyable tea. I totally recommend it. And I don't know if Teas We Like is still selling it, and I don't know which year is the one that I tried, but you know, it's always worth checking them out if you haven't already. So, art. I am painting something today, and not only am I painting, I'm also using ink, and I'm using this dip pen that I have never used before. I have my sketch prepped up here already, ready to go, and it is for a school assignment. It's for a mock commission. I've got two things here that I'm unfamiliar with. I have this pen and the subject of the commission. I've never used, well, I have used a dip pen once or twice prior for similar classes at SCAD, and I never really enjoyed the process or anything. I always thought it was messy and a pain and I could never handle it. But now that I've done it with this piece, I really like it, and I'm gonna keep using it. So it might appear in future drinking and drawing episodes if I keep making videos. I hope I do, even if they're very slow release. I apologize that my hair is in the shot. I bonk my face on the camera a couple times. It's above me and like really close above me. So I do smack my little face a few times here and there, which you might get to see. I don't know. But I really had a good time using this dip pen, surprisingly. If you're scared of it and you've never used one before and you've been avoiding them, maybe you're a similar inking artist or comic artist or something, I recommend giving it a try anyway, just because it's really got a nice look once it's on the paper. It has a nice texture. I really enjoyed how dark the ink was as well. That could just be the ink, but there is something definitely different between this deep black ink color that I get versus something like a Micron pen. I did struggle in the beginning a little bit, but as I kept going, eventually my strokes just got smoother and smoother, and it started looking better and better. So I really do enjoy this pen. I'm using that Indian ink stuff as well. I just grabbed whatever was on the shelf and Dick Blix, and it came out really good, I think. So, as for the subject matter, I'm working on a mock commission here. It's for a class called Materials and Techniques for Sequential, which is a comics class here at SCAD. And the assignment is to do a mock commission for one of my classmates. One of my classmates wanted me to draw Snufkin from Moomin Valley, and I've never seen that show, but I do really enjoy the vibe of this character and wanted to kind of go ham on this piece because I just thought the subject matter was so cute. I didn't have to do this much work on this assignment, but I decided to do it anyway, and it was a good opportunity to film a video, so I just went all in on it. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy some of this video sped up, and I'm going to keep intermittently cutting in and doing voiceover when I think it's necessary. So I hope you guys enjoy the process as much as I did. Alright, this is actually a good opportunity to talk about cross-hatching, which is what I'm doing here under Snufkin's hat. If you could see it, I know it's kind of small, but I have been mostly avoiding cross-hatching. I usually don't cross my lines. I don't know if you would actually be able to call this hatching. It's some kind of hatching, but is it cross-hatching? I don't know, because the lines don't cross over each other. So is it just hatching, or is it cross-hatching? I have no idea. Anyway, I really love working with line art and with ink, so I wanted to take it up a notch by integrating some cross-hatching. I figure it would work well with my line art. I've been kind of avoiding it for my entire life. I've definitely used cross-hatching in the past and different types of hatching, but it's been pretty minimal. So very recently I've started using this hatching pattern that is sort of inspired by a few artists that I like online. And I've been developing it and using it more and more. I've been getting a lot of compliments on it too, so I'm kind of hyped about that. I always think it looks pretty good. I've used it in a bunch of places, bunch of small places on this piece. And a few of my recent drawings online that I've been posting also have that same hatching style. I do really enjoy the style, and I'm definitely going to keep using it and working with it. It's been exciting to use. Especially with this nib. It's really, really smooth and really nice, and you get way more texture than you would with something digital. I noticed the other day while I was in class and I was looking at my classmates' art, just how much I enjoyed seeing their traditional work rather than their digital work. I don't know what it is, I was just looking at their stuff and I was like, damn, traditional art looks really good, and I should do more of it, because if I see all their art like that, I bet you they see my stuff like that. So I think that pivoting a lot of my illustration work to traditional might be something that I'm going to be doing more, hopefully in video format like I am here. I think that texture and that quality, that line quality and everything that you get is really nice. The only sad bit is that I don't really know how to scan my art properly. My professor, I think, is going to teach us how to do it soon, so if he teaches us a good method for scanning, I would probably be even more down to doing future illustrations traditionally. Way more than I am already. It's also just really nice working on paper for once, having it be so physical and there. It's very meditative, and the inking process, as much as I like digital art, there's something about this that is really nice. So hoping that future illustrations as well can be in traditional here and there. The cool thing about this as well is that if I do a traditional illustration and I sell it as prints, I could also sell the original. Not to be someone who's so obsessed with money, but it is on the mind when I'm in college and thinking about art as a career. So thinking about selling original paintings like that at, say, like a Comic-Con table or something would be really cool as well. Alright, well, I'm gonna go back under and you guys enjoy it until I can think of something else to say here. I'm not too sure yet. before I start jumping into the watercolors of this piece, and while I'm finishing up the inks, I do want to mention kind of what I've been doing this summer. I haven't been doing a whole lot. I mean, summer is officially over for me, I should say. That's when I'm recording this. I'm in my second week of school and trying to get back to finding the time to stream on Twitch, which is usually what I'm doing, but it has been tough finding time to actually settle down and turn on my computer and sit down and hit live. This past summer I struggled just a super amount with the Wi-Fi in my house, and it was super frustrating and it was a pain. I tried going live so many times, and every single time I would just have issues and the bitrate would drop and it would crash and blah 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 blah. Basically I wasn't able to get much streaming done at all this past summer, so I'm hoping that tomorrow's Sunday, the 25th of September. So I'm hoping that tomorrow might be my first Twitch stream. If not, I don't know. We'll see. I am hoping that tomorrow will be it and that I could start a solid schedule. It's been pretty tough, though, as a senior in college and having not streamed in quite a while and having declared a minor and then doing all this crazy stuff every single day. It's like, wow, I just don't have time to sit down and go live. I'm mostly just like doing homework with my classmates or running back and forth doing errands or going to the gym as much as I can. I'm definitely like decided that I would prefer to go to the gym rather than stream, just because physical health has become important for me, so I try not to avoid the gym. I've been going consistently to the gym, just not streaming consistently. But we'll see what happens. So this past summer was just totally nothingness. I mean, I literally didn't draw much of anything. I kind of just hung out and I started doing kung fu, which was pretty cool. But other than that, really not much art to be had. I will say I'm still working on a comic right now, and I always say that, but I will keep saying it until it actually happens properly. I really wanted to have some of that done before the semester started. Here I am. I'm kind of having a bit of a crisis right now with my career and being in school and whatnot, so I have no idea what I'm going to do or what's going to happen, but I'm just going to keep doing my homework and hoping that I stream tomorrow, and if not, I'll try to stream Tuesday or Thursday or Friday or Sunday. We'll see. So yeah, let's finish up this inking, shall we? So, inks are done. Here they are. I did use a Tech pen, by the way. I used a Micron for the border part. I just was kind of nervous to use the dip pen on that bit. But yeah, the inks are done. They look good. I really like how the inks came out. I mean, especially as someone that never used the tool I was using. But I am here about to sit down and hammer out some watercolors. I don't know what brand of do I think I use Winsor Newton. Sorry, I think I do know what brand watercolor I use. I tend not to think too hard about it. I've never made an investment. Like, watercolors are expensive, don't get me wrong. Winsor Newton, pretty expensive. But I've never made a massive investment into like specialty watercolors. I kind of just own the basic colors that you need to mix other colors, like the whole cyan, magenta, yellow thing. So yeah, I mostly just mixed to get the greens that I had, and I do have a tube of brown as well, so that's super helpful. But other than that, I kind of just paint with the cyan, yellow, magenta, and mix them in the palette and such and such. I am pretty comfortable with watercolor, and I haven't painted a whole lot of watercolor paintings within the past years, especially since being in SCAD, and everything's like digital for animation, so I'm never told to do like a watercolor painting or anything. But I really did want to do it for this piece, even if it was not required for the assignment at all. I still decided I was going to sit down and paint it because it's cute, and why not? And I do really like the results. I mean, it's definitely like my strongest watercolor piece in years. I have done a couple watercolor paintings not so long ago, and I was never quite happy with the results, but what I have gotten here with the inks and the watercolors, and it just looks so good. I really do. Really did end up being a fan of the look that I got. I mean, I was nervous because my past couple of watercolor paintings have come out looking a bit sus, but when I finally saw the end result, or even before that, while I was working on it, I was like, oh, like, this is pretty good. I'm doing okay here. There's definitely still a lot to learn when it comes to watercolor. I mean, it's not a medium that I use so frequently. A lot of my digital art is meant to mimic watercolor. I was so much in love with watercolor when I was in community college, doing watercolor paintings for painting class and whatnot, getting my associates in the fine arts and illustration. And I did a lot of watercolor back then. That's when I first learned it, was when I was in community college, which was years ago now. But when I switched to SCAD and I started doing digital, I really wanted to integrate that watercolor look into my digital art. So I still try my hardest to make my digital art a reflection of what I like with my traditional work. Even if I'm starting to think that my digital work is looking better than my traditional, but hey, I'm totally gonna do more stuff like this, I hope. So that should be a temporary thing, it shouldn't be forever that I feel myself stifled by digital and the look of digital watercolor. But I also think that the digital watercolor look and the digital painting look by far really cool with some of my concept art, and all that other kind of stuff digitally just looks cool. But it is almost impossible. I mean, sometimes my pieces look pretty close, and I've seen other people who use similar watercolor tools digitally who really managed to hit that watercolor look. But for me, it's just been almost impossible to properly emulate what you're seeing here. Like, the way that watercolor works is really special. It's very loose. It's very unpredictable. watercolor shines most in its mistakes, which is really contrasting to, ink here. Ink is very like, if you mess up, you mess up. You either start over or you make a bigger and bigger black blob of ink on your paper. But with watercolor, it's like you make mistakes, the mistakes become part of your art, and the different splotches and the different way that the water pools and the pigment pools ends up becoming how your art looks. And that's really why I like watercolor. It's really, really special, one of my professors always used to say that the point of watercolor is to make it look like you painted it in like 2 minutes, when in reality it probably took you several hours. That always stuck with me. He always had a really nice watercolor style, and I was like, oh yeah, that's true. Like, it really does look like he painted these in 2 minutes, but he definitely spent a very long time on them. And that's what makes watercolor cool, in my opinion. So if you haven't inked and then watercolored underneath it, or just haven't watercolored in general, I hear a lot of artists are scared of watercolor. And I understand. It is scary, you kind of are left to face the ramifications of water and how it is wet all the time and the paint spreads. I didn't even use a hairdryer here for this piece. I never waited for this piece to dry between coats. I just kept hopping around, and I would let the paint pool and spread from one spot to another, and I was just like, oh well, I already have the inks down, so I'm not losing any serious details here. And when it comes to painting the background, which I will get to here eventually, I think that it really does look nicer with how loose it is and how the colors do pool together. Because in life, you have color and light bouncing off itself and different surfaces. So enjoy the painting process, If you guys have any questions, of course, by the way, about watercolor or ink, I'm not like an expert or anything. I'm certainly not an expert with traditional, but if you do have questions, you should absolutely just leave them for me in the comments, and I will 100% I will answer them, because I don't get a whole lot of comments, so I don't have much else to do. I stalk my YouTube comment section sometimes, and I'm like, oh, no comments, but I would definitely see if you left a comment, and I would definitely respond, so feel free. I think I forgot to mention this, but I put this at 500 times speed. The sections that you're seeing sped up are at 500 times. Right now, when I'm talking, it's not sped up. Let me know what you think of that style. I don't know how I feel about it. I was gonna record my voice while I was drawing, but I was so intimidated by working with such a permanent material that I got scared and decided not to do it. And I think the last drinking and drawing I recorded, it was voiced over live. I literally cannot remember. I think it might have. And I think I was using a tool I was comfortable with, and I was in my sketchbook, so it was like, okay, who cares if I mess up, blah, blah, blah. This was like, oh, for an assignment. Can't be talking while I'm painting. I'm gonna record this in post. I actually do kind of like recording these in post, a little bit more than I like talking while I'm doing it. I think I just need the space to focus. And especially with traditional, like, hoo boy, there's no undo button. There's no redo. There's no undo. There's no copy paste. Nothing like that. No layers. So I mess up or I don't. And I managed not to make, well, I think I managed not to make any mistakes with this piece. I'm pretty sure I did another assignment after this one. I inked another one. And I did not record it, sorry. But I did smudge it right towards the end. I smudged some inky goop, and I just covered it up with like a white paint pen, but it's still obvious that I smudged it right across. And I was like, ah, shite. I smudged my ink. And whatever. It was, the other half of this assignment was, they're mock commissions. I don't know if I mentioned this before, because I'm actually recording this part the day after I recorded the last part of the voiceover. So for the mock commissions, the first one is this one. This one was a mock commission for a classmate who's actually friends with me. So I was like, okay, I want to make it look good because she's my homie. And the second mock commission that we were supposed to do was for our professor, who's a massive One Piece fan and was forcing us to do a One Piece character. And we had to like random lottery them. And they weren't even the main characters of One Piece. They were like the weird villains. Thank God I didn't get one that looked too wild. I think I lucked out. I got Perona. I don't know if you guys know her. I don't. I didn't. I do now. I don't watch One Piece. I've seen like the first 20 episodes and then I stopped. But I did get Perona and I was like, okay, she's kind of cute. I would definitely hate her if I watched the show. She looks like I would hate her. But at least she has normal body proportions. I can draw abnormal body proportions, but I'd much rather not. At least not right now or whatever. I just thought it was funny. And I smudged poor Perona. I didn't smudge her face or anything, but I did smudge a bit of the background at the end. So I covered it up and I was like, I'm not keeping this. I took a photo, I posted it on Twitter, and then I gave it to my professor because it's his commission. He could have it. Yeah, I don't need that drawing of Perona hanging around. He could take that. So I ended up not painting that one though. I was like, no, I don't have time. I was doing it the night before. I was up all night inking goopy ink everywhere on my table. And I was like, no, I'm not painting this. I wanted to because I like my professor, but there is a time and a place to paint him something nice another time. So that's what happened there. But this one I didn't make any mistakes with. I'm pretty sure this one came out pretty good. I mean, watercolor is a mistake just in general. You know, when you're using watercolor, every stroke you make is almost like a purposeful mistake, or you try to pretend that you did everything that you did on purpose by the time it ends. Because I didn't plan how I was going to paint the background here. But it looks good. I gotta say, you know, I don't know, but I really like the way that the ink looks in front of the lineless background. it's got a nice quality to it. And I'm totally going to do that again with some more art in the future. I just thought it came out nice. Whenever the past few watercolor pieces I've done, I've tried to make them lineless. I've tried to either use maybe a colored pencil line or a faint pencil line or a very, very, very thin ink line, or just completely lineless, just try to paint. And I always was struggling. I was like, uh-oh, this is bad. This is coming out bad. And here, where the background is lineless and the foreground is lined, looks pretty cool. And I was definitely surprised that I pulled off this water that I'm painting right as we speak, because boy howdy, I think I've painted water once prior. And water is notoriously difficult to paint. I've done it once, but never again. And the one time I did it, it did okay. It did all right. But I did definitely go for a different approach here. I definitely went for a more natural look with my water here. And yeah, it came out good. I mean, it was giving me some issues here and there, this painting. A couple things really troubled me. Getting the snow to look like snow. Separating the mountains from the other mountains. And what really, I think, tied it together right at the end that I decided miraculously to put in, because I had not planned on adding this until I finally got to the end, was the pine trees that you guys will see. I added pine trees at the end, and they look good. It was a very Bob Ross move of me. I was like, okay, I'm throwing in some pine trees because there's some stuff that I want to cover up, and I just think it would tie it together. And it looked good, and the snow came out okay too. All in all, I would say it was pretty successful. So, I don't think I have anything more to say yet. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy some of this painting process. It is almost done, and I will come back at the end for my last words or whatever else I need to say about this piece and about art in general. So, enjoy. As you can see, I am finishing up this piece here. Yep, the final details, the little tent, the little house things. I added some white little dots with my Posca pen at the end. Those little dudes in the background, I don't know what they're called. I saw them on the promotional material and I read about them on the wiki. I forgot what they're called. The little white dudes with the little armies sticking out that I think that they're like a type of plant creature. Those are really cute. I really like that I added those. I'm just such a huge fan of adding little details, like little Easter eggs in my painting. I've always been a big fan of that. So even though I haven't seen Moomin, I tried my best to add stuff that I thought was relevant to Moomin. Like the tent and the fishing rod and the house and the bridge and the teapot and this harmonica. I read somewhere online that Snufkin long ago played the accordion. And I had to add the accordion because I play the accordion. I was like, all right, I'll have him play the harmonica. You know, I know this guy. Or I'll have him smoking. He is smoking, but I didn't paint the smoke. I thought it'd be overkill. So instead I just was like, oh, the accordion. He plays an accordion? Heck yeah, I'm gonna add that. He does play a button accordion, which I don't play, but, you know, good for him taking risks. I'm sure he's great at playing it. Now I kind of want to watch this show or read it. I might read it. I really do need to read more comics. I just declared my minor in sequential art, aka comics and storyboards, so I don't read a whole lot of comics, and that's bad on me as someone who would like to make some. So I think maybe I'll read this one. We'll see. I think this came out dope though. I really like it. The colors are so pretty. The blue and the green and the brown. I mean, come on. It looks good. I've been really enjoying my time doing more art with traditional stuff. Actually, just now, I just had to edit that and cut that last audio clip there because I got a phone call. But after I got off that phone call, I was doing some screen printing, which is also really fun and traditional art related. Isn't that great? I think it's great. So yeah, I've really been having fun with this traditional stuff recently. And I think this piece came out awesome. As I said before, I can't remember anything that I said before now because I just got off of a phone call. I had to stop recording. Now I'm all lost. But I mean, that's okay. I think I've said enough anyway, and I think that this video kind of speaks for itself. And I really do hope that I get to do something like this again soon. Hopefully, maybe I will design my next t-shirt design because I'm doing some screen printing right now for the next drinking and drawing. That would be pretty cool. I would have a fun time with that. Or another homework assignment, of course, because I am getting traditional homework assignments. Even though I thought I was done with traditional art, because I'm in animation, it never seems to leave me alone. So I'll see all of you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a good one.